with AWTV, reporting to you from 818.dentist with Dr. Tom.
Hi, Will.
So before we get started, can you just tell us a little bit about your office and some of the innovative things that you do here, and what makes this place unique?
With pleasure. Our office is a multi-specialty dental clinic that is patient-centered. And when we were starting this clinic, I had the vision in my mind to create a 360-degree solution spot or clinic for the patients. Again, having patients in mind, so that they come to one spot, they get all their dental-related problems fixed without leaving this area. They don't need to be referred out for various different things.
And they don't need to just keep coming back. They come in and it's same day, the whole job finished.
Yes, that's one of the niches of what we do, and we're proud to say that because we're actually executing that. It's called Same Day Teeth. It's called Teeth Express. Various different entities that have done this before name it. We call it Same Day Teeth also. Pretty much the idea is the patient comes in, we take preliminary impression scans, we go over the information and have everything ready for the day of transformation. We call it transformation, in which the patient is pretty much put to sleep under general anesthesia. The doctor goes in, takes about 2 to 3 hours of work, and then I would go and do my thing and place a couple of implants, and patient wakes up with teeth. So pretty much they go in without teeth, they wake up with teeth, and these teeth are not denture teeth that need glued to stick. They literally are tied to the implants that we just placed. Yeah, so one day transformation, same day teeth. And more of these cases that I did, more I came to a realization that technology could play a key factor in making this experience a lot more precise, a lot better looking, and done in-house at a fraction of a time and also a fraction of a cost for our patients. So we managed to integrate the knowledge, technology, the manpower, and the skill into our office. I'm proud to say we have a 1,500 square foot dental laboratory that does all this work for us, and our laboratory is for us, by us. We're not making it. It's not a commercial laboratory. It's just to process our patients' needs and fabricate whatever it is needed, all aspects of dentistry.
Is that what you would call an in-house laboratory? What makes your laboratory special compared to, aside that it's private? What exactly?
A very good question. First of all, the size and the processing power of it. It's a 1,500 square foot laboratory. This would be a commercial laboratory otherwise. Most dental laboratories you go to do not exceed the size. But it's not about the size. It's about the technology that is incorporated into it. So just to give an idea, everything is done digitally. Most work is done digitally. So the case will be scanned via 3D scanner. Then if we need to fabricate models, we will utilize our 3D printer, and then we would have a designer, a ceramist, or a dental lab technician adapted computer-aided designing to process and design the teeth. And after that design is done, we'll literally send the file to our milling machines. We have
just to clarify, milling machine, CAD machine, and 3D printer. Are those three different things? A 3D printer is printing. A CAD machine is also printing.
CAD machine is CAD means computer-aided design. CAM is computer-aided milling, so that's why you will hear it CAD-CAM. They design and they mill. So we have the milling machines, we have the designing machines, we have the man to connect the milling to the designing machine, and there's other software intermediate that's called the nesting software that pretty much would take the design teeth and incorporate it into the small area of a puck, because it's being milled out of something. That something is usually disc formed. Yeah, it's disc formed, so it's cutting out of that. And then pretty much the machine will finish its process, and now our ceramist will jump back on to finalize the process. So just to give you an example, if you can zoom in.
And we'll
on-
see all of that.
So this is a model of a. This is a demonstrative piece fabricated by us.
Okay.
It consists of several units. So this would be the casts, the 3D printed part that replicates, that shows the patient's.
Yeah, so that's gums.
That's the gum. That's
Actual gums.
yeah. So when you come to us, we take impression. We pour it out of the stone model. You would see the rugae, the depression and the convexities of the gums. This is the frontal part of the tooth. So this part was printed by a 3D printer.
Gotcha.
So these holes, you can see, these pretty much take in the implant equivalents, or we call them implant analogs. And there are holes on this final restoration. Final restoration is milled out of PMMA, polymethyl methacrylate. So 3D printed, milled.
What is polymetal methacrylate?
That's the actual name of the formula of plastic, hard plastic.
Oh, so it's a type of plastic.
Type of plastic we use to make temporary teeth and some final restorations for the patients.
And that lasts as long as your life?
Well, it's as finite as we are. But there are different materials to be used for certain purposes. You know, just like cars can be made of carbon fiber, but they also could be made of metal. Which one is sturdier now? That's the analysis and different research will show and prove one way or the other. For various different purposes you pursue, will use different type of material. So for something that we want the patient to wear down a little more, to work out the wear facets, we call them. You know, you get a brand new shoe. I'm gonna just be a comparison.
Break in the shoe.
You break in the shoe, and the softer that inner insole part is, the less damage to your feet you will acquire while breaking in the shoe. So similar thing with this. If somebody came in, they didn't have their teeth for some time. Now the whole face transforms. Their lower jaw becomes more prominent. It sticks out.
That's why that 3D scanning device that Rick showed us is that part of that understanding?
Oh yes,
That your
definitely.
face could actually change without your teeth.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Not only aesthetic parts, when your upper lip collapses, your cheeks sink in, you look older, you start having this. Your face is drooping technically, and so that's just the aesthetic part of it. Just imagine what's going on to your joints. Your joints are like hinges. They used to be a certain position. Now that collapses, puts a lot of stress to your masseter muscles. A lot of things change. You age with that. So to put this whole knowledge into the consideration when making final restoration, it's imperative to use the most information you have, and in a 3D format is the best way to go. And it's just not about scans. You can have the best software. If you don't know how to use it, it's useless. You can have the best software, you know how to use it, but you can't fabricate it. Why am I saying this? Because doing this full mouth cases and doing a lot of dentistry that required intermediary steps like PMMA models to be worn out, like breaking the shoes. Every time we would send the cases out to laboratory and get it back, it would cost so much that the cost, and remember...
And you're not there for that process either.
No.
So it's here, you get to see it, you are in control of it, you know what's happening.
That's exactly the reason why we came up with this, our laboratory, to have ultimate control over the process so that we can fine-tune the errors and strive to be ideal, as close to the ideal as possible. And if something goes wrong, if we need to remake something, let's say we made temporary teeth for you that are placed on an implant and it broke yesterday. Guess what? You can call us, say, hey doc, those broke my temporaries broke yesterday. We can literally put it in a milling machine. 2 hours later, the thing is out. We process it. You can come back the same day. We can put it in. The convenience of getting serviced.
That's not too expensive for you to just mill out a new thing, something that you've already milled before that you already have the file for.
The bulk of expense goes into processing of that, the manpower, the design, and once you've achieved the design, it's similar to having a Word document that You print it out and you lost a copy. What do? You just print it again. So the process of printing does take into consideration ink, paper, and the power to run the machine and having the machine. But it's incomparable to what it would cost to remake it anew. And if you're working with the laboratory, nobody's keeping your casts. Your casts are tossed, trashed, and it's very hard to control. The files get lost, the cases get lost, and you get charged every time you remake something, regardless if it's your cost or not. And the only way to sustain this operation, in reality, is to absorb those costs by having your operations. That's why we have this, and I am happy, I'm glad for us and our patients that we have this. Now we can do it.
So essentially, you're bringing the laboratory to the customer, I feel like is kind of in the most simple possible terms. In my experience with dental stuff, it's exactly what you just described. It's like this horrible process of to the thing, they send it out to somebody, and it gets back, it takes forever, and you can only really do it once.
I can show you many examples of what the laboratory products are, but in my honest opinion, it's not the laboratory products that highlight or underline what we do here different. I want to bring you a couple of examples of how our work has grown to become more than a local dental shop. I have patients who drive from Sacramento, which is about 6-7 hour drive from here. They drive in their minivans to come get same-day crowns, to come get same-day veneers here. And how do we do that? You probably heard of same-day crowns. There's a proprietary manufacturer which is close-ended, meaning you need to buy their milling machine, you need to buy their software, everything needs to be theirs for you to be able to do that. I forgot, Sirona, I think, Sirona has it. And it mills only an individual crown because the capacity is, this is like a boombox looking thing. You look in a dental clinic, most PDS services have that. It's so cool, the water is splashing and 45 minutes later your crown is ready. Wow, that's amazing, that blows somebody's mind. Yes, on a smaller scale, for a layman's term, that's amazing. We do the same thing for full mouth. And our machines are capable of just running a dedicated job. So they come here in the morning, we scan intraorally, we send all that information to laboratory. Laboratories already starts working on the design of the future teeth as the dentist is preparing all those teeth. Once the preparation is ready, we scan those preparations. And keep in mind, the laboratory already has 3D designed the beautiful teeth to your face. And this facial scan we showed will add some more clarity and beautification to the final aesthetics. But the design is ready, and they're just waiting for the doctor to finish preparing, shaving down teeth a little bit so we can create space for the ceramic crowns, right? They finish, they scan, we send digitally that file from our dental clinic, which is right here next to us. We just walk through from dental clinic to the lab. And the laboratory just goes ahead, superimposes that design of the new design that we want onto the preparations so they sort of match like a lock and key, and sends it to the milling machine, and we mill Emaxes. Emax is a brand name for the disilicate crowns. Pretty much a little bit later, 30-40 minutes later, all those crowns are milled out and ready to be processed. We put it into the sintering oven for just half an hour, 30 minutes. Long story short, in 2-3 hours of processing time, the patient's crowns are ready. And we're talking about 24 to 28 crowns. We're not talking about one single crown being milled.
Are they all attached? Are all the crowns attached to each other, or are they milled individually and then set next to each other inside the mouth?
It's up to the clinician's choice, but most of the time when we do this aesthetic case, they're individual crowns. One by one, they're luted or cemented onto the tooth, so that you can floss, you can keep it clean, it looks very natural, you have all the crevices. So it's a life-changing transformation. A lot of people love the comfort and convenience of having everything done under one roof. Why? Because, you know, in a perfect world, this would be just like I described. In the real world, sometimes you have nicks, you have sometimes the crown doesn't fit, or 3 out of 28 crowns are not fitting right. No, what do? We can temporize it, make temporary crowns, again, mill it out of something, or request another couple of hours to remill a new one, finish it up, or reschedule for tomorrow. Meaning the solution is found right there and then. The patient does not have to come back in 3 weeks because there's a third-party lab that we need to ship this out. The convenience is just out of this world.
If there's a mistake in the crown, it can be fixed same day.
Or if you drop the crown while delivering it. You know, we all have happened, those cases. You have a crystal glass of you're drinking wine out and then you dropped it. What happens? We'll make another one. This is going back to the question, like, how convenient or how easy is it to reproduce the design product? Very, because we have all the equipment. And one other thing I wanted to touch up on, the focus of this clinic. Now we know the value that we provide to our customers, our patients. Same day teeth, be it beautificational process, aesthetic teeth like crowns and veneers. You know, I have crooked teeth, can you make them look beautiful and white? That's beauty. Or functional and restorative transformation, meaning I've had postponed this dental needs of mine. I have terminal dentition, my teeth are falling out, I have gum disease, I haven't taken care of my teeth for so long, I only have 3 to 7 teeth and I can't eat food, please help me. That's functional problem. Whether one or the other, we have honed our skills and protocol to the point where we can provide solution to those patients within a day, either cases. So now we are expanding our capacity to anyone who's willing to travel to us. You no longer have to be living in Los Angeles to get the services rendered.
People come from other cities?
From other countries too. We can arrange a stay for you. All we need is a couple of days of your time. You come here after jet lag, if there is such, rest a little bit, come here for a consultation. We'll do all the measures, we'll take all the measures, all the necessary steps to prepare your new teeth, to prepare your new design, schedule your date for the work to be done. So let's say you're 2 days in, we'll have all that we need, all the measurements we need. Schedule a date, let's say day 3, you come, we do all the preparation, or we conduct the surgery. If it's a full mouth surgery under general anesthesia, we have licensed anesthesiologists administering you in our clinic. So while they're having you asleep, making sure you're sleeping tight and without any complications, I or one of our surgeons will be performing the surgery, place the implants, extract the teeth, level your bone, make it all beautiful, and then fit the newly milled teeth onto your implants. You wake up probably next day, the day after, you're ready to fly back wherever you are. So you can come here, get your services rendered. The surgery itself, the whole transformation process takes 1 day. Preparation takes another day. And then you come into sunny California, you probably want to go to the beach before.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Is there any other flashy gadgetry or exotic technologies at play?
Yes, I haven't shown most of it yet. We have intraoral scanners, we have 3D desktop scanners, we have 3D printers, we have titanium milling machine. We just replaced one. We have a newer, better, fresher, tougher one. We have the dry milling machines. There's difference. It's like a manufacturing plant. You know, if you're cutting into the wood, you use this a machine. If you're cutting into the metal, you use something else. We have a sintering oven. We have a ceramic setup. We have 3D printer.
What is a ceramic setup?
Ceramics is the oldest probably art in the dentistry. The oldest. You know, the China. The cups, the very, like the see-through, the translucent cups that we drink tea out of, they're very light, but they're so fine-tuned and detailed. Those are made of ceramic. So there's different molecular combination of what type of ceramic goes for the teeth, what goes for the for china or making plates, but the idea revolves around the same thing. Laying down ceramics, it's like, it's an artwork. You use a brush to layer by layer lay down ceramics, and once you get into it, you realize that the original design that you're making is going to shrink about 15% once you put it into the oven for it to solidify. So your design, your calculation needs to match that.
Is that just loss of moisture, basically, or what is?
Different materials do have that, but there's a coefficient of expansion in different materials. So for ceramics itself, it's roughly about 15%. And it's so beautiful, the technology we have. Different manufacturers will have different percentages, so you can calculate for that in your design when the machine is milling, let's say Emax zirconia, Emax ceramics versus doing zirconia ceramics, and different brands. The barcode will indicate the machine how much bigger this crown should be if you mill it out of this puck versus the same crown if you mill it out of this puck. So when you put it in sintering oven, they both fit perfectly your preparation. It's just amazing where we are technology-wise. And it blows my mind that you go to some other dental offices and they're still using
Stone
analog
Age.
X-rays. They're processing analog X-rays. It's mind-boggling, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about what we can do for you.
Can you tell us what this place was like in the beginning before? I mean, I don't know how old Can you tell us the history of the dentist office and how things have changed from the very beginning?
Yes, I can. The notion of dental implants is relatively new amongst the people, but has been around since 1970s. Though the types of implants were different, they were not screwable implants. Somebody would need to cut through your jaw, put a plate with holes in it, and hope that your body will also integrate, grab onto it. So it was a big surgery to replace a tooth or two. I'm not talking about 1800s. We're not even touching the early 1900s, because you lost your tooth, tough luck. I mean,
it was dentistry was medieval up until very recently, you could say.
You could see a huge difference, like a big gap. Like we're in a cosmic space now compared to back then. They still had crowns, they still had crowns, but replacing a missing tooth was a tough situation if you didn't have anything to butt on. Like, if you're trying to connect both banks of a river, you can put a post here, you can put post here, bridge it over. But what happens when you're trying to build this bridge on the seashore and the rest of it is ocean? Where do you put the next post in? That's where the implants come in. Implants technically create that next post. Even if you don't have at all any shores you want to put a bridge, that's what we do. Same day teeth, or a case like this where you have 4 implants placed and this whole structure holds on those 4 implants. Like this would be a good demonstrative piece of how this whole thing works. I'm going to unscrew this restoration. You can see there's like 4 implants. Mm-hmm. But we're giving this person, hypothetically, what is that, 12 teeth on 4 implants. These are the abutments that go in female processing units. And these blue screws are here just to show how this mechanical restoration would work for somebody. So you will screw them all 4, cover these holes with filling composite material, and boom, they're like brand new. So this is the greatest achievement, in my opinion, for a person who's, for whatever reason, missing their teeth, and they want to get their teeth. They have all the means to get their teeth. They just didn't used to have the technology. Now they do, and you can do it in one day. Even like a few years ago, you had to put a couple of implants, let them also integrate the process when the bone grows around the implant and vice versa. Give them temporary dentures. It's still, the final solution is still something fixed, but going through the process is a chore. Now you don't even have to go through the process. We do your teeth on the day of the surgery. That's amazing. That's the most transformative part in the dentistry that I have seen.
Can you tell us about what some of your patients? Can you tell us about what some of your patients have walked away saying, or any of their experiences, anything they've said to you, or how it transformed their lives, or how it helped them? I feel like is.
Yeah, that's the most sensitive part. That's the most beautiful part. The most genuine emotion I've got out of my patients when I give them the mirror to see their teeth that we delivered is their tears rolling down their cheeks. That's the most sincere. That's the most genuine reaction I get. Wow! Oh my God! I can't believe I look so much younger. This. Oh my God! Wow! This is most of the time the reaction you get from people, because you truly transform their lives. The patient looks at least 10 years younger with their teeth, because it's not. We not only give them the teeth to chew. When patient is missing teeth for a long time, their lower third of their face collapses, gets shrinks smaller and smaller, because teeth take up space. When you close down, they stop at some point. When you don't have teeth, the stoppage is no longer there. Now jaws have more room to go back and forth, and most of the time what happens, your masseter muscles that hold your mandible or pull it up for you to chew, they overact, so they work harder for it to close, so you have prominent cheeks in your face.
Yeah.
You have this face shrinkage. You have more wrinkles around the marionette lines, they call them. So this golden proportions, this three part face. If you go to any art school, that's probably drawing face.
I was just thinking that's what they teach.
You cut it into the three, the oval, and then three. You lose that third. Your form becomes different. Your face, your look, everything changes. So now when we give somebody teeth, now we give them lip support. When the lips have sunken, now they have lips. Now they have cheeks. These areas are filled. And as we've shown this model, it's not just, these are called hybrids for a reason. Teeth are considered only the enamel part. When we say my teeth, we don't mean the roots and the tips of the roots. We mean the enamel part. So when the person is missing teeth for a long time, their jaw resorbs, it shrinks, it comes together, it becomes smaller. The lower jaw gets narrower, and it goes down, so to say. It resorbs downwards. The upper jaw resorbs upwards. So this whole upper face sort of shrinks back. You lose the lip support. That's why older people, if you look at the profile picture, now all of a sudden their face collapses inward. From the nose it goes downward.
Yeah.
But if you look at your profile picture, from the nose it goes forward. So you lose the shape, you lose the speech, you slur when you speak because your tongue grows bigger. So we correct all of this, most of the cases, when we do full mouth cases, we open up vertical dimensional occlusion, which is that hinge. Where does your jaw stop? And we make some temporary restorations for people who have been missing their teeth for a long time, so their body, their muscles, the muscle memory gets used to this new position and helps them. So we transform, truly.
So some of these patients are living with this, a condition like that, with a lower third for years, and then in some cases at least, it's a single day, they're coming out totally different.
In most cases, when we do same-day teeth, they're coming out different. Most cases. What I'm trying to say by that is, if the patient has genuine sense of appreciation and they're they're able to see, there's no way they won't notice the difference. It's impossible. I can demonstrate some cases so you can see. I can show you some photos. You will be blown away. Like, wow, what a change, what a difference.
Can you tell us about the device we're about to see? Sir, what is your name?
Rick.
Rick, okay. Doctor, can you tell us about the device we're about to see from Rick?
Would love. We are about to see a demonstration of how 3D facial scanner will work and be plugged into the flow of dental planning. Was it too complicated, sophisticated, simple
Yeah.
terms?
I'll be,
Simple terms. All right, cool.
So, what does it do? What does it actually do?
Well, we live in a three-dimensional world, XYZ axis, and until now, most of the time, the dental offices and laboratories would just look at some photos at best-case scenario and try to reconstruct somebody's face and smile, which was most of the time inconsistent and would require some adjustments of the final crowns, fine-tuning, and making the function work. With the help of 3D face scanner, we're able to take and scan somebody's face, make it a digital file, and then we already have the intraoral scan of their teeth, and then link them all together by certain points of reference, like a nose. So you pretty much have masked layer of teeth, face, occlusion, articulation, and with help of these, we will be able to make very accurate fixtures, very accurate full mouth restorations or individual crowns that will not only serve the purpose of eating, but it will look beautiful for you.
And that's the ultimate goal here, right? Is to make you look beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I got one other question. What is intraoral again? Is that when they put a device actually in your mouth?
It's just intraoral scanner is it's like a pen size of a finger that you just, instead of taking those gooey impressions that are running and people are choking on it, instead of doing that, you just hold it near the teeth when the patient has the mouth open without touching any surface, and it just scans the teeth. So we can reconstruct your teeth without taking any gooey impressions, and we can print it in our 3D printer, and boom, you have the model.
And you'll show us those models later. But for now, let's take a look at what Rick has. So Leon, let's pan and see.
Hi, everyone. So what I'm showing today, Dr. Tom, is basically...
Let's start again, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Hi, everyone. My name is Rick.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rick with RapidScan 3D, and I am here with Dr. Tom today to show him the Artec Space Spider. It's a structured light scanner that basically will help him scan the outer areas of the face so that he can eventually line them up with the intraoral scans that he wants to do. And so it's just a simple tool where we have a patient sit down. This never touches the patient. You basically just scan it over their face. Usually takes, from a minute or less, and then process the data, and within about 5 minutes you have a three-dimensional model of the face.
Okay.
Can you help show it on my face?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it on the doctor. If you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, I would say you probably just sit down.
Yeah.
It'd be easier.
You'll come to us.
Yeah, and I'll just move it over to you guys, and then I'll try to get the camera or the screen into the
Scan the world's face.
I do kind of want a scan of my face just for my my 3D profile pic.
So let's see, what can I do so you can see. And
No, I can face you.
yeah,
and
that's
then,
fine. I just want to make sure they can kind of see the screen as well. So
Yes. Oh, gotcha.
right. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
So I kind of need to see my screen as well. So
Yeah.
while I scan you, because I'm not. So when I'm scanning, I'm not looking at your face. I'm looking at the monitor to see the data that I'm capturing. That basically helps me track where I am in space and to see what I've already scanned.
The chair that we have, the spa chair, is for this purpose.
Yeah.
back there.
Yeah, so it folds up, open, you sit down like you're in a spa, somebody's scanning you, and the TV right behind you is your point of reference. He's looking at the TV, and it's like,
Yeah. So I don't know how we can do this because it's gonna be hard because I kind of got to see my screen. That's kind of I was like maybe I should. Do you need me in the picture? Because you can just have my back to you.
no, man, we're not doing commercial of you.
All right, good. That's what I figured. I'm not that attractive.
Thanks for
so,
asking, Don.
You know, I'm gonna give you a look. So. All right, so then that way I can kind of watch my screen and
These guys
scan
like
you.
they're full of shit. Like,
So if you want, you probably want to pan over to. You'll want to. Where are we going here? You'll want to pan over to the screen because you'll see the visual stuff coming in immediately.
Yeah, so Leon, I don't know if you want to like go back and forth. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Or we could just do one and one.
Yeah, that's fine. Either way. I'm gathering, Tom, you're going to doing the scanning or you have text to do the scanning?
first is going to be done by me. I want to master it before.
Sure. Well, luckily what's great about this system, it's very easy to master. I've literally taught this to junior high level kids. So it's one of those things where to get from the scan to your final model that you need is literally a 4-step process. Mm-hmm. Very easy, very simple to do.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get this started. And the way it works is I just point it at the face, get my general area.
Do you want to close your eyes during this process?
It doesn't really matter. It's really up to the patient, but it doesn't affect your eyesight.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can take it.
I feel like that was a disco club.
And we're done. So now next step is this is the basic data hasn't been processed yet. So it uses the geometry of all the objects it captured to basically align the scans together. Mm-hmm. So these are individual pictures and it's taking these individual scans and aligning them to each other. So there you go. Do a quick outline removal. I have to calibrate it.
Oh, his nose is fixed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So notice I was smiling to leave a couple of points of reference from my teeth.
Yeah.
So when I do intraoral scan, that's the points that we use to align everything together because they need to be matching points on this picture, that picture, and
So
that
you're smiling in the
scan.
Gotcha.
And then I also do CT scan, which is 3D of the full head with all the tissues. This is just extraoral. This is your skin and external stuff. CT scan pierces through.
To the bone.
So we put CT scan, intraoral scan, facial scan. So when we manipulate an exocad, which is what they do next door,
Before we go into exocad, so you're combining all three different types of scans.
we are combining them all together. And so when the lab
Most dentist office don't do that.
I mean, most dentist office don't even have an intraoral scanner, which is just to take impressions without the gooey stuff. The-
And then your CAD machine, sorry, you said?
Yeah. So this is like a whole. You can think of it as like a university where we're doing things a little different, more technologically savvy, and it's not about having gadgets. You need to have the manpower, you need to have the knowledge and the expertise to do this. When I first bought my intraoral scanner, that was a good looking gadget, collecting dust.
Okay.
Because it wasn't practical until you start using it, and then you understand why to choose this one versus the other one. What are the limitations? What are the things that you can utilize it for, and why do you need it? Until you run into problems with just doing the exocad. You do exocad and like you print something, you put in a patient's mouth on a picture. It looks beautiful when you're designing, but it doesn't quite line up in their face because you're dealing with the two-dimensional photo picture and a three-dimensional object in the mouth. So it could be in a various axes that is different. So you need to calibrate, you need to align. Now this will, look at it. Wow, I look like a Nero, bro.
So I like to laugh that it really does get a lot of detail, including the lines on your face. I actually do a smooth scanning generally for people so it doesn't show all their faults. But this is the type of detail that you get with this scanner. And like I said, he'll be able to take this data along with the intraoral data and get really, really high accuracy 3D models of his teeth without ever having to touch anyone.
We'll walk into the exocad area. You will see the major difference when you have a 2D picture and you have the intraoral 3D scan right behind it.
Yeah.
You just align so you can see through a crack of the mouth, the teeth. As soon as you move the picture, now this flat picture moves as a flat picture, but the intraoral scan is a 3D. So you immediately you lose the dimensions. The 2D and 3D superimposition only good on the frontal view.
Yeah.
This changes the whole thing. No matter how you switch it, you can see how it will be profiled, how it will look at this position. All of it lines up. All of it. We can make accurate surgical guides. I
Yeah.
can print out, I can mill a surgical guide that will be fitting tight against your jawbone.
Yeah.
Without even having opened your jawbone. I can do that, and then during the surgery I will elevate the flap, separate the tissue from the jawbone, and then my 3D guide that I printed will just get screwed onto your jaw without even having physically touched
Yeah.
it before. So this is like next level technology.
In the past, you would have to open them up
Yeah.
to actually.
Now, you still have to open them up, but in the past you would have opened up, take impression live
take the
of the
impression,
bone.
yeah.
Now you don't even need to do that. You do that in a CT scan, and you open it up, it matches 1-to-1.
Gotcha.
And so the superimpose, it's called stackable system. They stack on top of each other, the workflow.
Yeah.
But most professionals, like most dental offices, outsource this stuff. They need a crown, they take impression.
Wow. This is Will with AWTV coming from 818.dentist with Dr. Tom.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Will, and I hope many more people will find benefit in their case in our clinic.
Thank you so much, Doctor.